In this video, we'll show you how you can apply to a work request as a contractor. Very simple to do. We'll walk through it pretty quickly. First off, just go to our website, automateamerica.com, and you'll go over here to log in. So make sure that as a professional, you have your login information. You know what your email address is that you use and your password. Go ahead and enter that, and then your password. Then go ahead and click login, and that will take you to your profile, which of course we've been through. Now you have a couple of different ways you can go about searching for work. You can actually go up here to the tab that says work. You can click that, or you can actually go here on your profile where it says search work. We'll just go ahead and do that. So click search work. Again, it's a very simple process to do. Doesn't take a lot of time. You have a couple different ways you can look for work. You can actually enter in keywords. Perhaps you are a FANUC programmer and you're looking just specifically for a FANUC job. You can enter in FANUC right here, or you can search by location. If you only want to work in a certain location, you can certainly do that. Just search it by where it is. So if you want to put maybe Michigan or South Carolina or California or wherever you might be looking, you can enter the search location there and then just click search. We also have a map here, as you can see, that has where all of our current open work requests are. And you can see we've got South Carolina, Michigan, the Midwest, up in the Northeast. We've got California. We've got posting in Spain. And you can search through those at your leisure. Another easy way to do searching is right here on the left-hand side. You can see all the open work requests right here, and you can just pretty well scroll and see maybe which ones might be interesting to you. So basically, what you can do is you can look for one that you are particularly interested in, and just find out where that one is. Whether you're looking for a location, you can see the location is clearly described here. The title of the job, you can see the start date and the end date, and you can see what the rate per hour is at certain net terms. So you can certainly look for it that way. So what you need to do really simply is basically find a job that you're interested in. So we're going to use this one. I created this job already. So it's a robot programmer. Spot welding is one of the functions of the robot programmer. It's in Greenville, South Carolina. So basically what you do is you go up here to robot programmer, and you see how it pops up over here on the map as well. You can kind of see where it is in case you're wanting to kind of visualize it. If you click on robot programmer, this will bring up the work request. And from here, you'll be able to see all the information that you need in order to understand what the job is and everything else. So we'll walk through it real quick. You can see here that it is robot programmer, kind of what some of the keywords are, where it's located. You can see a description of the job, any programming skills that are required for the position. So here you can see they're looking for FANUC, someone with experience with R30IA, R30IB, Spot Tool, and Art Tool. Any skilled trades that might be helpful. So if you have any of these skilled trades or experience in these skilled trades, that's an added benefit. Software licenses required. I just put this in, so maybe they require you to have RoboGuide. This is more specific to PLC programmers, for example, for Allen Bradley or Siemens, but it does happen from time to time that they do require you to have some sort of programming available for robot. Also, if there's any drug test required or and the recency of that drug request, so you know that you need to have a drug test for this position, and that it needs to be a recency of at least 30 days. Any safety passes that might be required here, OSHA 10 here is a mandatory one. These are all the tools, machines, and equipment competencies that you need. So you need to have a computer, basic electric tools, basic hand tools, lockout, tagout kit. We'll get to interview questions here in just a second. Another important thing is, when does a job start? When does it end? So here you can see the start date, the projected end date. They're looking for one person. It is a variable shift position, so it could be days or nights. They're planning on 6 10-hour days. Of course, that fluctuates based on the requirements of the project. So this sometimes could be an estimate. So sometimes could go more than this. So sometimes could be less than this. Here's the rates per hour. You can see kind of what the base rate is based on certain things. Now this will change, and I'll show you where that changes based on what you choose. So you can see here that the base rate 76. The overtime, the double time, travel time is paid. They allow 1 trip per month, 8 hours round trip. The rates could vary based on experience and customer requirements. Expenses here are also located. You can see whether they are reimbursed or not. Per diem is reimbursed at $50 per day. You have a hotel allowance of $110, car allowance $65, airfare at 700. So now, whenever you apply, you're going to be asked interview questions on all of our work requests, and these are qualifying questions. So you need to make sure that you are as upfront and honest about your answers of these as possible. And you can see what they are here. Do you have FANUC spot tool experience? Do you have manual welding experience? And are you authorized to work in the United States? These are going to be questions that you're going to have to answer before you can officially apply for a particular work request. So basically, it's really simple. Once you get all this information, you say, this is one for me, this is what I'm interested in. You see this button in the right-hand corner. It says, I'm interested. All you have to do is go ahead and click I'm interested. And then you see here, it gives you a drop down of the interview questions that you're required to answer. So do you have FANUC spot tool experience? Answer yes or no. Do you have manual welding? Answer yes or no. And are you authorized to work in the United States? Answer yes or no. Again, these are qualifying questions, so your answers will be dependent on how far you get in the application process. So I'm going to go ahead and click yes on all these and click save. And then here it'll pull up your payment terms. Now this is where the payment terms will change. And this is all based on your preference, and things can vary, and everyone does things a little differently. Now you can see kind of how the net terms work, as you'll receive payments 60 days after you raise the invoice. So if you choose net 60, then this is what you'll get paid right here. So if you choose net 45, you can see this column is highlighted. You'll receive payments 45 days after you invoice, net 30, net 15, so on and so forth. And you can choose whatever payment terms you choose. This is kind of your personal preference based on when you want to get paid. A lot of times, if you're a newer contractor, that you're new to the business, sometimes you want to choose net 15 because it gives you a paycheck a little quicker. But you see here that the base rate does go down. And the reason for that is because there's a bit of a risk involved in terms of what that is. We have to base the base rate based on not only your net terms, but the net terms we get paid by the company. So if they vary tremendously, we're basically loaning you out money because we're not getting paid for that position yet. It's okay, and it does happen, but you have to understand that that's one of the reasons why we have a lesser base rate based on your net payment terms. Expenses work the same way, and you can see exactly what the percentage is at net 45, net 30, and net 15. You do have options. You can choose different net terms for hourly as you do for expenses. So let's say you want to go net 15 for hourly, but maybe you want to go net 30 for your expenses. So basically this means you get paid your hourly 15 days after you invoice, but you won't receive your expenses until 30 days after you invoice. Sometimes this works beneficial if you're maybe just trying to get started. And you want to get your hourly quick, and you want to build up an account. And then also one option for you is that while you're in the project, if you choose to change your payment terms, you can do that as well. We ask that you only do that maybe once if you choose. So maybe if you want to start at net 15, and then after maybe a month, you've built up a pretty good account, and you feel like you can kind of float yourself a little bit longer and you want a little bit more money per hour, you won't want to go ahead and go with net 30. Just communicate that with us, and we're more than happy to work with you. Same thing for expenses. If you want to choose net 15 initially, this is what your per diem will be, your hotel allowance, your car allowance, and your airfare allowance. And all these, with the exception of per diem, are based on your receipts. So it's very important that you understand that you'll invoice and you'll get paid this amount. So if you find a hotel that is $112, then you'll realize that your reimbursement is going to be $100. So $12 a day of that will probably come out of your pocket. So make sure you understand all that before you get into deciding what your payment terms are. And of course, these are all flexible, and you can change these before you accept work as well. You have the option, and I'll show you that a little bit later in another video, how you can go back and you can change your payment terms before you accept a work request if you're in fact hired for one. So if you're comfortable with how this looks, we'll go ahead and select net 30 for expenses, net 15 for payment. You can see exactly what you'll be getting and how you'll be getting it. And you can see here that it does cost us money to advance you expenses 30 days before the business payment term, which is why this is a little bit less, because again, it goes back to that risk. Again, it seems like a very convoluted explanation, but at the end of the day, it's actually pretty simple. And if you have questions, make sure you let us know that. So once you're okay with all of this, then go ahead and hit apply. And then it'll say here that your interest has been shared, and we'll keep you informed. So now you've applied for the job, and now it's kind of up to the business to decide how they want to move forward. So that's basically it. If you have any questions, make sure you drop us an email at info@automateamerica.com.